Welcome back. This is class 7. Hopefully, you've been through our introductory class and some of our prep work. As I've been saying in these past few classes, that we are building on the techniques that we have learned before, and I think you'll probably be able to keep up, but I encourage you to go back. Think of this class as some prep work. You need some practice. Not all these techniques are going to work for you. Each technique is like a unique tool. And with any gardener, we know we don't always use every tool in the shed all of the time, but every now and then you want to bust one out that you don't practice with very often or use very often. So hopefully that concept speaks. I'm Dr. Suzanne Trupin. I'm the owner of Women's Health Practice, Hatha Cosmetic Medicine, and Hatha Yoga and Fitness, all here in Champaign, Illinois. Hopefully, those of you watching are some of our in-person students, and if you have any questions, of course, come and ask me anytime. But welcome to anyone who has tuned in. I think that the practice of yoga breathing or pranayama is so helpful and so important to our overall health. We don't need any special props, as I've said before, but I have a cushion, I've got a block, I've got a place I can sit. In our yoga practice, we're very active with our body. In our pranayama practice, we're very active with our breath. And in mindfulness, we don't move our body. We're of course breathing, but we're not specifically directing our breath. But when we move from mindfulness to meditation, it's really the withdrawal of all of those pieces, parts, and breathwork is an important bridge to meditation. And I do hope that you will come to your breath regularly, daily, whenever you need it, and maybe it will lead some of us to explore meditation as well. Okay, now we're going on to something completely new, the incorporation of bandhas, or what's called locks. So this concept comes from what the yogis called our core, or our vessel. Our torso was thought of as a big pot, a kumbha. And that pot has a bottom, it has a top. It can hold energy within, build energy, build heat. And if you add some compression, aka the locks, the bandhas, that builds the heat even more. So the sealing of our pelvic floor is called our mula bandha. When we move to learning sealing our abdomen, uddiyana bandha, and jaralahanda bandha is our throat. Really, we're not doing all of those three at once. There is some complicated work called mahabandha work, where you do engage all three of those locks at once. And it's not something I practice or what we're going to go over today. But basically, in bandhas, we use this to build more control, containment, and refinement of our breath practice. Now, in traditional yoga practice, they felt that they were building that internal spiritual energy, if you will, and helping move into transcendence. We're moving out of our body, but there's nothing wrong with that kind of concept. That kind of work does not speak to most of us that don't practice those traditional forms of meditation or breath work, but it is fun to read about it, and or at least I find it fascinating and interesting to learn about the origins. I always feel that if we know where we came from, it helps to know where we're going. Okay, so we will work with this foundational kind of breathing in two ways. So we're mostly going to be focusing on that mula bandha, and I'll go over quickly how we use each one of those locks. And we're going to work first just engaging the lock, the bandha, on our exhales. It's much more accessible. So we release on our inhale and we engage our bandhas on the exhale. Then we're going to go into some rounds of breath work where we engage on our inhale and exhale. So essentially for a 2 to 3 minute period of time, whatever we select to work with, I'm probably going to do 2 minutes in this class today. You're engaging, you're holding your core, you're pulling in your abdomen the entire time. Now, that is a positive in that it's helping you to build that energy, to build that focus. However, it's definitely harder to breathe in and out when you are containing those muscles. So again, I always say that breath work is difficult work, but it shouldn't be physically difficult work. And if you're finding yourself with excessive air hunger, please stop. Come to your breath. You can always join back in at any point. And if you are experiencing this, also do check with your healthcare provider to make sure that there's nothing going on that you should pay attention to. So, move to some constructive rest. I built myself a pranayama bolster. Go back to one of the other series if you don't know how to do this. We're gonna put our abdomen up and we're gonna lay back and get that comfortable position. And I'm really getting a little bit of arch in my lower back. I'm gonna sit so I can look at the screen while I'm teaching these, but you can stay in these positions. So constructive rest would be bringing your knees together and having your feet out. The Baddha Konasana or cobbler's pose is having our feet together and our knees out. So I will be cueing using those kinds of positions to work with our locks. And for some people, it may even be easier to sit up. So lots of choices as we move deeper into this practice. The point is going to be awareness, connecting to your center. Okay, so mula bandha is that contracting of pelvic floor. You want to contract your entire pelvic floor, and you want to have a drawing within and up. And it's not something you can see, but I just did it. And for some people, it is a little bit uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be. Make it just as tense as where you're noticing, but not so much discomfort. That abdominal lock, or uddiyana bandha, is pulling that abdomen in and up. So that contraction of your core to the best of your ability, engaging your side muscles as well. Now, when I contract my core, once I move to the sides, I definitely notice a little more engagement of my obliques. Don't worry about that. Try to the best of your ability to just, when you're engaging your abdominal lock, to just draw all within. Okay, so let's just, maybe you're on your back, maybe you're gonna rock your knees side to side for just a moment, and let's just start with a little bit of our cleansing breath work, our 6 seconds inhaling out expressing our air out, exhaling with our uddiyana breath and Ujjayi breath, excuse me, and no locks whatsoever, just to begin with. And I will time this. We're working on 2-minute sections in this class today, whereas in class 6 we were working with 3-minute sections. I want to remind everyone that you want to really have those smooth transitions in and out, and that it is most helpful to breathe in and out through your nose, but you do not have to. You can certainly breathe in and out through your mouth, but as you get more experience, as you practice on your own, do try to breathe in and out of your nose. Okay? When you're practicing on your own, there are apps. You can use your phone as I do. You can just count seconds out. We're pretty familiar with doing that, and all of that works for you. I'm going to sit on my cushion as I talk you through the practice today. And for some, I think seated is easy, but when you're laying down, I think that it's almost easier to relax and engage through these bandhas when we get to that. All right. Come to your comfortable position. Wherever you are, exhale. Inhale. 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 Exhale. Let that go. Notice your body settling. Notice some additional calm coming to yourself. Take a little wiggle if you need to do that. When you're practicing your breath work, try to be in a place of comfort and stillness. Okay, so engaging mula bandha, lifting up of the pelvic floor, engaging your abdominal core is the technique we're working with today. So just take a moment, engage both your pelvic floor and your abdomen. Let that go. Another practice round. Lifting of the pelvic floor, tightening the abdomen. Let that go. if you can do both at once. It is harder. So now we're going to try 2 3-minute segments. One where we are so we're softening with our inhale. So I'm going to sort of start our count on our exhale, and then as we exhale, we're going to engage. And inhale, let everything go. So exhaling, I'm going to say engage, and inhaling, I'm going to say release. So I'll say exhale, engage, inhale, release. All right. Get your wiggles, get your comfort, sit on your cushion, lay back on your pranayama block, be on a bolster, be on a yoga block, whatever might be comfortable to you. If you need a little sip of water, and I do find it helpful to drink a little extra when we do these breathwork practices. I don't when I record them as much. Probably sounds like it when my voice gets dry sounding. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do our 3-minute inhaling, relaxing, exhaling, engaging. Okay? These are 6-second breaths, in case I didn't say that before. These are Ujjayi breaths if you have that practice. Do not have to be. And I'm cueing you, but you're coming in and out at your pace. So try not to inhale that full 6 seconds and then immediately exhaling that full 6 seconds. May not be your natural pattern. Your natural pattern may be more like 5 or 7. We're all a little bit different, but research shows 6 is what we mostly are. So that 5 full inhales per minute is where we want to be for this practice. Okie doke. Let go. Be relaxed. Inhaling it, relax. Exhale, engage. Inhale, let go. Exhale, engage. Inhale, release. Exhale, engage. Inhale, release. Exhale, engage. Inhale, release. 30 minutes. Excellent work. I'm proud of you for trying it. I usually say try about 10 different sessions on your own at home with these bandhas, these locks, before giving it up. Intuitively, I feel that most of us don't necessarily feel that this is very easy breath work. Of all the breath work, I think it is the most difficult. Some of us more naturally run around with a lot of tightness, a lot of engagement, holding their stomachs in as we stand up tall. So maybe intuitively for some of us it really is easier. But for most of us, trying to do the breath work while actively, especially engaging the pelvic floor, is difficult. In our breath work practice, using these bandhas, I think it makes our yoga practice using bandhas easier. But I know many of you working with this breath work do not have a regular or any kind of yoga practice. Perfectly fine. Of course, I encourage you to try it, but this is really separate. All right, so a 3-minute round with both engaging our mula bandha and our uddiyana bandha at the same time. Of course, if I did throat lock, I wouldn't be talking. If you have such a sophisticated practice that you want to engage all 3 locks, go ahead, but I frankly find the most important work is with mula bandha and uddiyana bandha, and it is what builds the fire in our core. And I feel if you properly engage your abdomen, you are generating that pressure. You are building the appropriate fire for benefits in your pranayama practice. And I think the throat lock version is it's interesting. You may want to practice it as you get more experience, but I don't think that it's really necessary to get the benefits. And I feel that more of us continue our breathwork practice if we don't necessarily use that part. All right, when we do our bandhas on the exhale, it's definitely easier work. When I say engage, I do want it to be somewhat subtle, so not our tightest. We're still breathing, and we're doing this over a fairly long period of time. And I feel that at the end of this practice, we can feel spacious, we can feel without boundaries, because now at the end of bandha work, we're letting go, and it really adds to that feeling of spaciousness. So maybe that will speak to you and it will be helpful. Okay, so I am going to get my handy phone timer. Be comfortable on your back or be comfortable in a seated position. We're going to engage both our bandhas, and then we're inhaling, exhaling for 6 seconds. So we're engage. So I'm not going to say those words. I'm going to go through the inhaling and exhaling. And if you yourself like to practice by those counts, hopefully at this point you've practiced enough that you can steadily, smoothly inhale for the full 6 seconds and steadily, smoothly exhale for the full 6 seconds. But some of us may still be seeking that timing, and some of us may still want to just let go before the entire 3 minutes passes, which, of course, your practice, your body. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, please let that go and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're fully engaged in our bandhas the whole 3 minutes. Exhale. Inhale. 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 Exhale. Good work. Let that go. Take a body survey. How are you feeling? Let's just bring our awareness back to our body. Let's settle onto our mat. Let's go back to a short 2-minute round of 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Keeping our Ujjayi breath, our fierce, our warrior, our ocean sounding breath, but letting go our bandhas. Coming back to that place of comfort where we all often settle for breath work. Just as a way to sort of cleanse our palate here at the end of this class. If you're on your back and you wish to have your eyes closed, go ahead, take an exhale, inhale. Exhale. 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 Let that go. That's our 2 minutes. Let your breath go. Come back to your natural pace of breath. See how you're feeling. Perhaps today we'll take time for a savasana. Let your eyes close. Let your legs reach long on your mat, beyond your back. Gently tuck your shoulder blades under your collarbone. Let your arms be at your side. Move your palms upwards towards the sky. Or if you'd like to close inward, let those palms rest on your mat or floor, or blanket beside your body. See where you can soften. See where you're holding tension. If your mind starts to wander away, bring it back. There are times when my mind won't settle unless I practice breathwork in savasana. Traditionally, many of us just let our breath go in savasana. It's yoga, no rules. We're doing what grounds us, what brings us to our center, what helps us learn something about ourselves. Hold in this stillness. Corpse pose being one of the most important, if not the most important pose in yoga. Requires that great discipline of stillness. You can wiggle your toes and fingers, start to wake up your arms. If you have time and would like to stay on your mat in a longer savasana, I welcome you to do that. Perhaps you've darkened your room. Maybe you've just set some cold compresses over your eyes, if you had those available. Otherwise, start to move. Come back to any comfortable seated position. That was class 7. And I welcome you to revisit some of the aspects of pranayama breathwork that spoke the most to you. The more you practice, the greater the benefits. Have a good day.